Good morning. Today is the 17th day of Tammuz, which is a fast day. It begins what is known as the 3 weeks, starting from today and culminating on Tisha B'Av, which is the saddest day on the Jewish calendar. Today is the day that our enemies breached the walls of Jerusalem, and finally, on Tisha B'Av, both of our temples, first by the Babylonians, then by the Romans, were set aflames and destroyed. And therefore our rabbis tell us that these 3 weeks are a period of time that we have to increase our unconditional love for one another. Why? Because our rabbis tell us that the temple was destroyed because of baseless hatred. And the way to rebuild the temple and to merit redemption is by showing unconditional love to one another. But there is a question. The question is, one of the prohibitions in the Torah is that we're not allowed to destroy even one stone of the Holy Temple. It is a prohibition to destroy a synagogue, God forbid. And therefore the question is, how could God have destroyed our temples if it is a prohibition to destroy a temple? And the answer is that Jewish law says it's only forbidden to destroy a temple if it's for the sake of destruction. But if you are demolishing, as we say, for the sake of rebuilding an even bigger and more beautiful synagogue, then it is not forbidden. It's a mitzvah because you are beautifying and enhancing the synagogue and the temple by rebuilding an even bigger temple. And therefore, since God destroyed the temple, in order for us to improve our ways and to learn to love each other unconditionally, and then we will merit the rebuilding of the third temple, which will be even greater and more grander. Therefore, it is permissible for God to destroy the temple. And the lesson in all of our lives is that we all face moments or experiences that are destructive, that can be seen as moments in our life or experiences in our life that are negative. But it is our choice to decide whether we are going to transform them into something which was a demolition, a destruction for a greater rebuilding. Whether we're going to harness the pain of the struggle and the challenge and the hardship and use it to rectify and to create and build an even more beautiful edifice in our lives for God. And that is the message of this 3 weeks, that we learn from the mistakes of the past and we rebuild even bigger and even stronger. Yesterday I went to pray in a synagogue nearby. It's the big Satmar synagogue. Thousands of people come every day. There are hundreds of minions in dozens of rooms. It's unbelievable situation there. Non-stop prayer and Torah learning, literally 24/7 there. And I sat down next to a wonderful young man from Lakewood, New Jersey, and we started talking, became friendly, and he started to tell me his story. And his story was that 6 years ago, he has a house here in Monticello, and tragically, his 4-year-old son, who he showed me pictures of, a beautiful young boy, was riding his bicycle and an ice cream truck came to the bungalow colony to sell ice cream. The driver was backing up and hit the young boy. And tragically, the boy died. And he lost his 4-year-old child. But what did he do with that pain? After he got up from Shiva, he said, I want to do something for my son. And so he started something called Or Shmuel. His son was Shmuel. His name is Moshe Gellis. His son was Shmuel Gellis. And he said, I'm going to start that in synagogues, I'm going to welcome people to study 45 minutes early in the morning from 6:15 a.m. to 7 a.m. And he started what's called a kollel. A kollel is where people get together and study Torah. And he started one, and then another one. And today he has over 50 kollels in synagogues around the country. And people come at 6:15 a.m. And he showed me a video of the room in Lakewood, New Jersey, where over 300 people are studying at 6 a.m. in the morning. And he provides breakfast, and he brings rabbis to teach classes, and he provides donuts for them to take home to their children, and coffee, and everything he can do for them. And he has thousands of people studying every morning. And he named these kollels Or Shmuel, the light of Shmuel, the light of his son Shmuel. And he says, my son, who was 4 years old 6 years ago, and he tragically was killed, is the Rosh HaKollel, which means he's the grand rabbi of this yeshiva, where thousands of young men are studying every morning. And he said, I went to people who not only didn't study Torah every day, but people who wouldn't even come to synagogue to pray every day. And I said, come study for 1 week in memory of my son. And once they got up every morning and started studying for an hour, 45 minutes before prayers, it changed their whole day, their whole week, and they kept on studying. And instead of sitting and crying and mourning, he is filled with enthusiasm and excitement over the growth of his institutions that he is creating around the world. And he told me he even has one in the Boca Raton Synagogue in Florida. That is what Jews do. We don't become despondent. We don't fall into despair. We surely don't fall into depression. We've known our fair share of tragedy. But the secret of the Jewish people is we turn our pain into love. And we turn our sadness into a cause to bring joy to the world and to others. And we rectify our mistakes by learning from the past and building an even beautiful, more beautiful creation in our lives that will honor God, honor ourselves, and honor the memories of the past. Let us use the next 3 weeks of the 17th of Tammuz today till Tisha B'Av to look into our lives and see what needs correction and challenge ourselves to grow from the pain, from the struggles in our lives. Because as the story goes about this young man who came to his rabbi and he had a butterfly in his hand, and he said, Rabbi, I have a butterfly in my hands. Is it alive or dead? He figured if the rabbi says it's dead, he'll release the butterfly and prove the rabbi wrong. The rabbi says it's alive, he'll squeeze his hands together and show the rabbi, kill the butterfly and say, look, the butterfly is dead. And when he came to the rabbi with the butterfly in his hand, he said, Rabbi, I have a butterfly in my hand. Is it alive or dead? And the rabbi looked at him and said, young man, the answer is in your hands. The answer is in each and every one of our hands. We can merit to rebuild our temple if we only dedicate ourselves to that goal. Have a wonderful day.